Hello everyone, it's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I'm Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Good morning.
You guys are here today, so anything happened with you yesterday? Oh, your makeup looks really nice.
Really nice.
You have this nice, smoky-ish look. Very nice.
Egyptian queen.
Yeah, the whole world.
Regina did a
She hooked you up nicely. How you doing?
Is my makeup not nice?
It's nice.
Let's hail my baby.
But we also need to hail Fola for our hair.
Yeah, Fola always does our hair every morning. Honestly, Makeup Nigeria does a fantastic job doing that. We don't, so we need to. Thank you very much, Fola Space.
Thanks, Fola. Thanks,
Fola Jimmy. Yeah, go ahead.
Nkiru, thanks Nkiru. I like my nude look. So yesterday, one of my friends was celebrating her birthday.
Yeah.
Faith, she used to be my production manager. You know Faith now? Yeah, so yesterday was her birthday. I decided to do something small for her. So I took her to the movies after the show yesterday.
Oh, that's so nice.
And we saw this movie, Little, where this lady turned to a little girl. Very interesting movie. We had fun, we had lunch. And then I raced home only to hear that my son was in the hospital.
Oh, what happened to him?
The cold thing. So they had to take him to the hospital to get nebulizers on and everything. I just want to give a very beautiful shout out to my parents-in-law. They're amazing. They didn't call me. They didn't want to bother me till I got home. And just told me. So the kids said they want to stay with grandma and grandpa. I've been home alone since yesterday.
Good to see you. Hi, Mariam.
I'm fine. There are two things that have been weighing on my mind heavily, but I'll talk about this one. They're just siblings. I met them in the course of being on Your View, and their life sort of resonates with mine, well, because these are young children who come from families maybe that didn't have enough, but they're pushing themselves to go to school and do well for themselves. And there's the sister had asked me once to help talk to her mother to allow her to go to school. The mother was worrying about getting money to take, so she could go to school. But she pushed herself. It just reminded me of my time. It was really tough for my mom. Recently she was saying, "Oh, Miriam, you are just a perfect child. When you were doing your project, you didn't ask me for ₦1. You kept saying we have books in the library and things like that." I said, "Yes, I did that. It wasn't that it was not tough, but I understood that things were tough at home." And so with this girl, I want to also use her like an example for a lot of young people. I know we come down on you guys for Yahoo and for all sorts of things, but there are a lot how are doing well. And I say it's tough now, but it will get better. So just keep doing well.
Fantastic. Well
keep
done,
working.
So, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yesterday, I went for my Be Natural spa date. My birthday gift from the ladies.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, so I'm feeling like, yes, the glow
You
is...
didn't get your nails done. Why?
No, they did. They said it was a mani and pedi. They did not include fixing of nail. So they did manicure. But they scrubbed my body. Oh, Jehovah, Amam.
That explains the short dress.
Yes, I was totally naked.
Of course, you will be.
I had to be totally, pants everything out. So she scrubbed, and I was thinking, I do body scrub. Yeah, I do body scrub every week in my house. I should be clean.
Don't they have heat?
But when they were scrubbing, they were peeling off stuff, and I was looking at my skin like, what are you guys doing? I'm clean. So there were a lot of things that this birthday has just been, I'm feeling really so they did facials and they extracted everything extractable from the face. I had pedicure. There was a massaging chair. My body was just
I think I need something like
everything
that.
was. I just
when you came in today, I just noticed there was something.
Yes.
The way you're carrying yourself today.
Supposed to be doing this thing.
So I've told myself, Maya, the entire thing costs 50K. It's 50K, so I can save 50K. At least I will do it for myself quarterly. I will do it for myself quarterly because I've not done it. I've never paid for this for myself before. I'm an Ijebu girl. I would rather save money. Let's do and some people will come and meet me and I will help them, but I'll not help myself. But it feels good. And I think that women should take our time. We're always nurturing everybody. My mom wouldn't eat out. She would rather use that money to buy to make stew in the house. And that's the way women are. We're nurturing everybody. So for me, I feel that women should take our time to splurge on themselves, have a pampering session. It feels really good.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Because you guys made it happen. All the ladies of your
Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
I gotta give a shout out to my landlord. I mean, I think I have the best landlord. In fact, when you have a landlord, man, you want to go and build your own house. My husband just so comfortable living in this man's house.
For real?
He's an amazing man, Mr. Adeyeka. And I mean, I think my neighbors complained about the interlocking. Our driveway is pretty wide, so there were some parts that were missing and they fall into the gutters. Yesterday, he sent in a truck of tipper, the tipper truck of sand, stones,
And he
cement.
fixed it
And they're
himself.
fixing this morning. They're fixing it. I'm like, this man is awesome.
But
I had issues with my
that should be
security door.
normal.
I had issues with my security door some time back. He sent the company that, because he doesn't want you touching the security door.
Yeah.
Any other door in the house you can do. But that my security door, the ones in
The
front
main
of
door,
the main doors, he sends the company in, they fix it. The plumbing, don't touch his plumbing, don't touch his NEPA issues.
Wow.
The man is amazing.
But I think that's how it should be, because that's
But
what
that's
I'm
not,
used
it's
to.
rare.
Lots of landlords are not doing that.
A lot
That's
of
what I'm used
landlords
to.
are
My
not doing
father-in-law
it.
is
So
a
we
landlord.
landlord.
yeah.
He
You
does
need
that
that,
for
I would
all
like
of his
to bring
tenants,
him on
and
the show.
I've taken that too. I do all of the repairs for my tenants. I don't bother. So I
Yeah.
think it's
That's the way it should be.
yeah.
People should take
I mean,
responsibility.
the things you do in your house, he doesn't care, you fix it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to with
the compound.
the property of the house, the land, the interlocking, the
borehole.
NEPA,
I'm talking about
those
Mariah's
major
compound
issues.
is in this our expensive area, and
I'm
she has
telling you.
compound. They don't people when they build houses now. They don't put you barely park your car, and then you cannot even walk around. Yes, she
I'm
does.
talking to you right now. They're fixing the
God
Interlocking.
bless him.
God bless my
you,
Good
sir.
job, good job, good job.
Sir,
Continue,
let us
sir.
Go and build our house, sir. Honestly doesn't want to leave the house. We really are comfortable there. Okay, let's go on a break. Where is that? We'll be right back. Let's start with Vanguard this morning. Buhari orders trucks, tankers to vacate Oshodi Apapa expressway in 72 hours. I really wanted to call somebody to help us verify that, but unfortunately I couldn't reach him. Bukachua bows, withdraws from panel. That's the case Buhari versus Atiku. Handover to PAMSEX, May 28th, President tells ministers. Zainab, FG indicts 2 foreign airlines for running drug cartel at Nigerian airports. Luth doctors begin warning strike over shortage of personnel. Fulanization agenda, Shoyinka backs Obasanjo, says Nigeria undergoing horrendous descent into abyss. Should we take Shoyinka here, or let's take a few others?
other
Let's take
stories.
Zainab. Zainab, go ahead.
No, major headline. Major
Which is
headline.
the transportation.
Tankers, yes.
tankers.
Nima's area, go ahead.
I don't have that
The story was that there was a meeting.
72 hours meeting. They've set up a new committee. The presidency has released a statement setting up a committee to oversee the 72-hour move for all the trucks to leave the express on Apapa Oshodi, the Apapa gridlock that has been happening for months. The committee also included the former Commissioner of Transportation in Lagos, Okpeifa, and I feel very, very happy with the quality of people they put into this presidential committee. They've made some procedures on how they intend to implement this that will make it different from what we've had before, because we've heard this statement before many times. It's been cleared many times and they come back, so it's about sustaining it. So one, they're taking them back to the car park they are designed for them, and there's going to be a manual calling system to bring trucks straight into the ports directly and out of that place, so they're not parked on the road. They also intend to prosecute all those that are profiteering from those parked on the road. I feel that a lot of times we announce our good intentions. The government announces good intentions. I want us to announce when we should celebrate 1 month after. So let's see how this
Let's see how it
goes
goes.
out.
I'm a bit skeptical because I said this has been happening before.
Especially the bridge at Ekmori. It's worrisome that bridge looks like it's about to collapse, and yet we still have trucks parked on it.
So let's give them 72 hours, right? Let's give them a week. Let's
see-
just see what happens, and hopefully we won't have to bring this topic up again.
Yeah, so
let's
in
talk
Luth,
about
the Lagos.
Luth, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so they started a 2-day warning strike because they said they've been victimized. They have a lot of them have been unpaid for a couple of months, and there's a shortage of doctors. But so they had a peaceful protest in the compound, warning that it may end up into it may get into an unresolved long strike if the government does not attend to them. But then the management is saying that you should not mind them, that these people were giving queries, they refused to respond. So they had to just find a way to say they were, going on strike not because of anything, but because they refused to answer their queries. So
okay, let's talk about the federal government indicting foreign airlines.
Yeah, so 2 airlines have been indicted. This was revealed during the Senate hearing yesterday. Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, who is still the senior special advisor,
yeah.
and she's also the chairperson of the new diaspora committee, said that there are 2 airlines, and I want to mention the airline because this is released, the Egypt Air and Ethiopian Airlines, and these 2 are involved in a drug cartel that put drugs in people's bags. So the good thing is Zainab's investigating to release Zainab has helped us to uncover this cartel. The challenges actually are from our own part as a country, because our airport doesn't have functional scanners, and they also complain that we don't have dogs, the what they call them? Sniffer dogs. We don't have enough sniffer dogs to sniff out the drugs when they are being put in, and our scanners are not functional. So,
and then the particular one at the Kanu International Airport also does not detect drugs. So
the scanner there, yeah, doesn't detect drugs. So I understand that we should blame the airlines, but human beings are human beings. We will try to profit from every loophole we see. The job of the government is to prevent people from being able to create this kind of things, and especially because innocent people are being caught and probably,
so hopefully they prosecute these two airlines. It's important. Get enough evidence. Moving on now to The Nation. Atiku's motion rejected as court president quits panel. Fayemi is Governor's Forum chair. Congratulations to Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State. Why I didn't back cabinet by Buhari. Soyinka cautions government on Obasanjo's comments, and mobile giant MTN hits 1.1 trillion naira gain this year. Let's talk about Soyinka for a second. Who has that story?
So I have the story. Yesterday, Professor Soyinka gave a speech at the Africa Day celebration organized by UBA. So he was saying that we should pay close attention to what the fears of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, that we shouldn't just, we should ignore the messenger, but we should sort out the substance of the message. What he said, is it what is happening? Because a lot of people out there are waiting to, solve problems that come to them. So do we have the insecurity issues? Are they there? Do we have the Fulani herdsmen issues?
Exactly.
Are they there? We should focus on...
And he reminded us that his relationship with Obasanjo is not cordial. We all know that. And so that, listen, I am not here to be friends with the former president. However, let us remove the words he used. The words about it, because those words can be divisive, and that's what the minister had said. So the words, move the words, but the real issue is there an insecurity issue? Is there a plan to colonize it? There could be.
Yeah, so this is something we see quite often now. We're so afraid of being politically incorrect, and we take our eyes off what's important.
Let's move on now to
our presidents. Yesterday, the FEC meeting, Wednesdays are FEC meetings, and they had a very lengthy, the 31 ministers were there, and it was like a last meeting.
I was going to take it in Punch because it's on the front page. They took their picture together. All right, let's move on to Punch. PDP reacts as Bokachua quits presidential poll tribunal. And picture here of our president with his entire cabinet. We see all of them there. Some of them, as I say, I've seen them for the first time. Like, who are you in the cabinet? Some faces I never saw through the past 4 years. Why I did not dissolve my cabinet, says President Buhari. Kidnapping FRSC officers, others regain freedom in Osun, Ondo, Ekiti. Certificate plagiarism scandal rocks Nnamdi Azikiwe University. 2 former NBA Ikeja chairman treasurer arraigned for 20 million naira fraud. Any governor saying he can tackle insecurity is lying, says Governor Ishako. That's Taraba State Governor. Fayemi emerges chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, and Adeyileka sues Inspector General AIG over his arrest. Now, let's start with the story you started with. Yeah. So, why did he not dissolve his cabinet?
Yes, so it was explaining why he didn't dissolve the cabinet, that because he felt that the government that they inherited was a government was a nation in crisis, and so we shouldn't judge it. You didn't want to judge any minister based on the challenges on ground, and that he felt that he has put together, that's the president speaking, that he has put together a team of very patriotic Nigerians that wants to serve, and so he gave them that 4 years without them feeling like they were going to lose their job anytime in between, to do what he knows they were capable of doing. So. He also recognized, and I wanted to mention the name because we had James Ucholi, who is a SAN, a former minister that died about 4 months into service, and it was through a car accident, and our heart goes out to the family and all of them. I remember because we took it right here. I feel really bad for the family, but he mentioned them in honoring them, that he was in service of Nigeria and he died. And every minister took our time to talk about how our president is fantastic and how they've worked hard. Before we run off from this topic, I want there to be a platform where every minister can engage Nigerians and tell us what they did. So because some of us feel like they didn't do anything or they didn't do enough, it would be nice to have the 31 ministers release what they've done to Nigerians, so what they say they do, yes, and what they've done.
He has also directed that May 28th they all hand over to the PAMSEC.
Yes, hand over notes.
So hopefully we can get some information. But I think it goes back to what our minister, Mr. Fashola, was saying earlier when I interviewed him, that everybody should be able to communicate what they're doing. I mean, even though you don't know every single thing Minister Fashola is doing, but you have an idea, all the various plans. He talks.
Some they don't say anything.
He attends radio interviews, TV interviews, online interviews.
He has a good PR team.
So he even not a good PR team. He's just
the one
available to speak. You call him, he picks up the phone. You send him a text message, he responds. How many ministers did that in the last 4 years? So as our president is picking the next batch, hopefully there are people who can actually speak. Let's just take which one?
Kidnapping.
No, take Bukachua and son. Okay. Which one? Kidnapping. Go ahead, please.
No, not the kidnapping. The former chairman of the Ikeja.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Ikeja branch of the Nigerian Bar Association.
I didn't want to take that straight because I know some of them. Go ahead.
So 3 of them actually have been arraigned before. EFCC is prosecuting them for 20 million naira fraud against the Ikeja branch of the NBA. So over time, what they had done is they had issued like 13 checks, you know, in the name, and then in the name of one of them, and they'll pay that into a personal account of the other one. And they did that. They were able to trace, unfortunately for them, where that money went, and of course, it was into their personal pockets. So they're being arraigned before the EFCC. So a good name is better than silver and gold. I promise you.
Their names?
The good name has covered it.
Okay, so their names, we have Adesina Ogunlano, Anyinka Farumbi, and Mrs. Aderinola Kapo.
So before we run off, Governor of Taraba State, you know, he's going on the second term. The Governor Darius Ishako is saying that no governor should come and say he can solve the problem of insecurity in a state, that he is praying every day. He's saying that he has canvassed and everybody knows that state police is the best way to solve insecurity within the state, and that we have not allowed. No, but he's saying that we've not allowed state policing. So once you have federal police, every instruction you want to move forward, you need to get it. So he's saying that. And he was saying this when he was inaugurating the implementation of agro. He was giving fertilizers and all of that. But he's saying that no governor can solve insecurity challenges except he has the right over security within the state. All of them, their hands are tied. And I think that they should look into it.
For a long time,
but they're not doing it.
But it's been discussed in the House. I think it was passed. I think it has passed first reading now. So they're discussing it. It's been debated, actually, in the House. So let's hope it will be passed. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Atiku versus Buhari, judge steps down.
Yep, with a beautiful
Justice
picture.
Zainab Bukachua, President of the Court of Appeal. Let's speak a story that we're not taking. Recession looms, CBN governor wants. What I discussed with Venezuelan President says Kalu. All right, let's talk about Justice Bukachua.
So Zainab Bukachua has resigned as the president of the Court of Appeal. And she's supposed to be presiding over the case between Atiku Abubakar and our own current president concerning the elections, so the elections tribunal. But there's been so many. PDP has said that she might be biased because of her husband. He's a member of the APC, and so is her son, who ran for governorship on the same platform. Although it was dismissed, but she has personally recused herself. I like that word. I first heard it when in American TV. So she has recused herself, meaning she has taken herself out of this
which I think, I totally respect that, because when a lot of, I don't want to make this a sexist thing, but a lot of men in power, their ego plays out. Their ego comes to play where they feel like, listen, I'm not going to be biased. There's no law that says I should not preside over this tribunal. But a woman usually, always, like I don't want to be sexist, but a woman usually understands, sees all the cards out and says, okay, what makes sense in this situation? Although it's been said over and over, she's not likely to be biased. But just for the sake of peace,
for the
sake of peace, she decided to step down.
I know.
And we must respect that.
Mariah, I felt bad that she stepped down, because I know we don't have enough representation, women in politics and in government. We don't have enough. So at every little opportunity, every little shake, a woman steps down. Why must the woman step down?
In this situation, she's weighing the options, because PDP is saying, listen, you being there can affect my case. So understanding in the interest of the country, because she doesn't want it whereby she look at the bigger picture, like, listen, I don't want, with or without me, the case will be based on merit. So her being there is not going to be the one that's going to decide.
Justice must not just be done. justice must be seen to be done. So because she doesn't want it to be, but whatever the judgment is, because she's there, they will taint it. I think she deserves a round of applause. And I think we need to see more leaders, knowing that their name has been want to be rubbished in any way, step out and just say that I would not want this. Yes, everybody should do it.
Yeah, regardless of male or female, and I'm sorry for bringing the sexist thing in here, but regardless of male or female, people should be seen to understand and look at the bigger picture and be able to take a step back in the interest of the people. Period.
It's beautiful.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Thursday. We're gisting all the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we know Naira Marley is trending. Trust me, we're going to talk about it. But first, let's discuss another issue that is bothering Obiajulu. The wedding day is particularly a very happy day for the couple as well as their close families and friends. But in this part of the world, the parents always say they want to be in charge. You know, the majority of the guests on that day eventually turn out to be their own guests, not even you as the owner of the wedding guest and getting married. So we ask, whose wedding really should it be? The parents of the couple? Because we found that this issue has become a fight between parents and their kids. Who owns that day? Join the conversation 070-806-6804. You can also tweet to us at TV Second. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right. When this issue was brought up, I felt it was a no-brainer because really this wedding day really is for me, in my own personal view, for the parents. Do what you got to do. It's your day of shining. Me, I personally couldn't care about the entire ceremony. You know? But the truth is, people feel that, no, that day is special. It's a very special me and you day that the decisions should be about everything that makes you happy. So let's discuss it. Let's try to have a conversation around it because people are fighting their parents over this day. Let me let Mariam want to start.
Okay.
In the northern view, do you want to use that?
Yeah,
Not really.
If we look at that, really, that's interesting angle. It's about the parents, really, because you would see the parents are the ones that would sit down to exchange dowry and speak about. The fathers, would sit down. Then there's the mothers and her friends. Yes, you have the bride and her friends, but really the face, what you see are the parents and the families, exchanging vows or whatever. But personally, I feel that you can do both. It's not a big deal, as you said. See, for me, like my wedding, it was a traditional one. All the guests there were my mom's guests. It was, in fact, it was nobody's wedding. It was my mother's wedding. Yes, and it was fine that it was that way. Left to me, I just wanted like 10 people, So when I did the registry, it was just 5 people or so. My mom, my aunt, my husband and his brothers. But and that was perfect for me.
There's this mentality our parents have. I have gone to all my friends' weddings. I have gone, this is my own. It's time I'm doing. So they must all know that it is me spending this money.
Honor me. So I know we're on opposite ends of this, BC. And for me, as an only child, it was a bit different. But even if I had siblings, the wedding day was a day for my parents to celebrate the process of me becoming a woman. They're giving me to my husband. So that was for them. The marriage is mine. I'm married. After the wedding is my own occasion. But that day was for them. Peculiar was the fact that I'm an only child, so there was no opportunity for my parents to have that experience again. This was the only child they were going to ever give away. So it was their day. It was entirely whatever they wanted, anyhow they wanted it, they had their day. And it was a way of honoring them. And it is the last part of my obedience to them. Because after, no matter how much you're an adult, when you become married, as a woman, you become your husband's person. So your parents no longer have the right to tell you how to live your life after marriage. That's the way I live my life. So, but till that day, when they hand me over, because that's what they do, they take your hand and put it in your husband's hand, that we're handing over our daughter to you. I'm still under their rules, and so I allow them to have
issues of like when it comes to weddings and where the mother is insisting on doing something, the father is and the child says, no, it's my wedding day. Respect that. Respect my decision. It's my day. It's not your day. So there's that conflict. I mean, do you agree with them that it's your parents' day, not so much your day.
I totally disagree with them.
Okay.
Because I know that culture is a way of life, and most of the things we do now in the name of culture were adopted from other places. Like back in the medieval days, we had marriages done because you had to marry from this country for alliances, and then your parents plan. In fact, they betroth you out when you're 4 or 5, and then they plan like more like a state wedding, and then we came back to our culture. We have kings from different colonies married to kings, and you know, so it was more for the parents at that time. But times have changed. Now, the marriage is for you. And okay, let me even go back to my place where the man specifically handles everything in the marriage, from the beginning, 1 kobo, to the last, 1 kobo, yes. You know, and then you have parents on the other side fighting for who's going to make this decision and who's going to make that decision, and you're not bringing out anything at the end of the day, you know. So it's not, it's painful to know that in this type of marriage, you're not even supporting in the first place, and now you want to call
are you
shots.
talking about money?
It's part
It's
of
money
it.
now.
Is
So
monetary?
It's money now.
Is
No,
it
no,
money?
it's not monetary.
It's
She,
not
what
monetary.
she's saying,
Understand her.
I'm starting from
Her culture.
culture now, where you had to marry for certain reasons. But
So
now
let me pause you
marriage
for a
is
second.
for
Let
us.
me pause you for a second.
Okay.
So in this situation she just painted, the man who's about to marry is the one spending
The whole money.
taking every responsibility for every single thing. At this moment, should the parents understand that I'm not the one paying for this wedding? So the decision is this man's decision, not so much of mine, because we see a lot of mothers saying, no, it has to be this color.
Yes.
That's
You know,
this
Yoruba
that's
says,
this way.
when you buy tara ali elokpo, you cannot buy it expensive. If you sell your family cheap, because your family is not paying for the wedding, because it's the man paying for the wedding, you now sell your family cheap that they shouldn't have a say in how the marriage goes. You will regret it in future.
That's not true.
So it's just that wedding day.
Let me take this call, I'll come back to you. Morning, are you there, Femi? Hello? Oh, we lost that call. Go ahead.
But we're saying two
About
different
that
things.
wedding day, because the man isn't, because the bride's family isn't going to pay a dime, does not reduce the honor that should be given to them as parents to have a say in how the child's wedding day goes. This is where I stand. So even if I don't bring a naira, it's my daughter's wedding day. You want to marry my daughter. The culture says you pay the bills. I want my entire family to be at the wedding day.
That's
to
fine.
see how well they've raised the children, which means you will feed 250 people. I also want the fact that this wedding will take place in our town hall, because that's where we take everybody. So is that bad?
Okay, let me take Femi, then I'll come back to you. Femi, are you there? Hello, Femi. I think we're having issues with our phone lines today.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
let me let Abiashulu respond to
Yeah.
that.
I wanted to say that you can take certain decisions because, of course, your daughter or your son will want to carry you along. Mommy, this is what we're doing. But you don't put your foot down and say it must be done this way. I had certain issues like that during my wedding where everybody was saying it has to be my way, it has to be my way. And I had to look at my husband like, I don't understand. Nobody's even telling me, Auntie, take this one for...
This is just money.
No, hold on now, hold on. She's
not on trial here.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
would
this.
want you to, still listen to me. It's my wedding. I should have a dream wedding of what I want. The church I want to use, the reception I want to use.
right.
Listen to me. Even if your views are different or your ideas are different, but then listen to me. Don't
listen.
tell me it must be your way.
All right,
and it's
Mary.
my wedding.
Okay, so listening to both of you, I now see that there's a marked difference between marriages that happen in the north, in the middle belt. It is not so much about lists and things like that, First, in the houses, you have the woman, she knows what she's supposed to bring. So the woman's family brings something, the man's family brings something. So it's not like Obiojulu's own, where one person is in charge of has the financial obligation of everything. And
It's easy to collaborate
yes,
there.
and then in the middle belt, it's church has really, formed the part of culture right now. So you have people, you go to church, then you do like a send forth where your friends will come and send you forth. But then the marriage is done in church. It's not such a big thing like
Okay,
it is done in
unfortunately, we have to wrap up
yes.
with this, but I think it's important that we've seen both angles because people are having issues, and obviously, it comes to culture. I have to run.
Just
It comes to culture. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Funny, don't play. Okay, welcome back. All right, we're also discussing Naira Marley, but let's just really round up this issue of wedding because lots of people.
There was a story. So I do bridal makeup. So there was one wedding that I was doing the bride. I did the bride's makeup, and I realized that they had a band, and the live band was obviously catered for by the parents of the bride, and they stopped the band for the bride to dance in with a DJ. So because the DJ was relying on the band's sound speaker and all those systems. After they had danced a few minutes, the band took over again. And the DJ was still playing. And the bride and groom were dancing. And the band was performing. Hey. So we now had to go there. And it was like it was conflicting music. So we had to go and meet them that, bands, let the couple dance now. They want to do their dance. Said, no, the bride's mom has said that our friends are leaving and they have to spray her money. So let the couple go and sit down. And let them dance and make money. And that happened till the end of the day. We were just dancing and they let... Anyway, so that's the extreme. So I feel that what people have done in modern times is giving honor to your parents, let them do their ceremony. Then you would have after party.
What if you don't have
you can groove your groove.
Okay, we have to run over.
We should find that, listen to one another, do after party for you and...
You don't have money for after party.
We have to... Now, the hottest news in the land.
Naira Marley.
So this case has been and is still everywhere on social media about how officials of the EFCC, that's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, arrested the Nigerian singer Afeez Fashola, otherwise known as Naira Marley, and 4 others in relation to alleged advance fee scam and related cyber crimes, popularly known as Yahoo Yahoo. However, a lot of celebrity friends are asking for his release, stating that EFCC should focus on our corrupt government officials and politicians. What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So celebrities notable to it, like Daddy Shoki was saying that, listen, what's the boy do now? I mean, what do that? They should give him a second chance. They should forgive him. That the politicians that are stealing money are the ones that EFCC should be going after. And someone like, I think, Foluke Daramola also did a video, I think, yesterday or a couple of days ago, saying that what is not good is not good. You can't, there's no 2 names for it. We can't be encouraging young people to think it's okay to go into crime as an option. Yes, we know things are bad in Nigeria, but is it appropriate for us, especially as the voices out there, people to see us to be encouraging or trying to get EFCC to make it look as if, oh, there are corrupt politicians around us and they're the ones we should be focusing our investigations on. So the various celebrities are coming with different angles. What are your views on this? I would like to hear our viewers' views, especially on this issue. Who wants to go first? Yes, go ahead.
First. So I felt bad for him because he's in my industry, music. And I know that music used to be a tool to effect change in the society. So you write songs that people will listen to and then they have hope. But over time, it has spanned into something else. Now people listen to songs and they want to go and kill themselves, or they want to go and do something bad, or they want to go and live fake lives just to be like you that they see out there. They don't know the real you anymore. And you know, because he was a musician, I understand the sentiments around let him go now, you know, you should go and chase the real people who are killing the country, the headsmen and all of that. I understand that sentiment, but he's an adult. And I believe he should be able to take responsibility for his actions. He knew that he was getting into crime. So let's let the law have its way, so to speak.
But when somebody as important or as influential as Daddy Shoki is saying that, leave this boy alone.
Why?
Yeah. So for me, really, the Naira Marley issue is done. EFCC got him for a crime. That's fine. My problem is how we always respond to things like this in Nigeria. Simi talked about Yahoo Yahoo. People came for her. How dare you speak up? And now someone who's been caught for allegedly committing a crime, and then you have older people, the elderly, coming out and saying, you know, why should you? Is his own as bad as the politicians? The thing is that, as we say, stealing. Maybe we should stop calling it Yahoo Yahoo. Maybe we should let you know that it is stealing, and we know that stealing is bad. If that boy were to have defrauded you speaking out for him, would you be able to speak out for him the same way that you're doing now, because it has not affected you personally? We should stand for the truth no matter who it is that it's affected. Somebody's son went on a plane and tried to blow up the plane. He had reported his son before that incident and said, I'm afraid for what my son may do. You think you love the man, you love the son more than the father. The thing is, what is wrong. And that's the only way we can help the next generation.
But okay, so we've understood that your position against what Adeyileka said. However, we have to also see reason. The fact that there are politicians out there that are stealing us dry. There are people out there that are milking Nigeria and going away with our with our wealth. It doesn't make it right. But what is EFCC doing to ensure we have enough convictions? So when you pick up a young boy, yes, he has committed a crime. Are you picking up these heavyweights also the same way and treating them the same manner? Because there's always some truth.
Two wrongs don't make it right. The fact that some are escaping and the fact that we have a government that is skewed to favor the rich and wealthy does not mean the fact that if they prosecute someone who's done wrong, it should be waved away because somebody's free. Everybody that has done wrong should be prosecuted, whether a politician or not. However, we've spoken on this couch countless times about all this, our artists singing songs about the life, you know, singing about drugs, singing about glamorizing drugs and glamorizing internet fraud and crimes. So when they sing about it and we caution them, they make it look like, oh, you people don't understand, this is what the market wants. I am happy that not that Naimali is being dealt with. If he's innocent, and he said he's innocent, he pleaded not guilty. I pray that entire process be followed judiciously. They shouldn't just make him a scapegoat. But if he's guilty, he should be made to face every law. And it should be penalized for everything he's done wrong. Because we need to let our artists, and they have millions of followers. He has plenty of followers online, the Malians and all of them. But nobody is coming to, he was alone in the court with his mother and his girlfriend, alone in the court. Nobody came to support him. So when artists
are on social media,
you know, the social media friends, all the artists and all his followers are not with him now. So when you are facing crime or facing challenges, you face it alone. Sing your song that you really want to sing. Don't sing what market wants from you.
You said something that I thought was important. When they sing these kind of songs and we're all celebrating them, why don't we begin to, any singer or any artist that begins to sing glorify crime, we need to be able to call them to order, because we shouldn't be all that, remember that song? Everyone was dancing, happy and excited.
All his songs have criminal undertone.
No, we will not dance to this song. No, keep this song. I think NBC has tried really hard to ban some songs, these kinds of songs. Let me come to you.
I wanted to go to the NBC because I don't know how hard they have tried. The songs get out there before they now hear the song and ban the song.
And it's still online.
It's still online. People, you know, so you can't really measure that space. But I would look at it from the angle of individuals. We are hypocrites. That's the truth. You see people who claim, a lot of us, you see people who claim to be, let me go to gospel now, and then they have a ceremony in their houses, and then they play the gospel music till their leaders go, the pastors go, the imams go, and then you start hearing the bobo tigbo in the same house. Do you understand? And tomorrow, you tell somebody else that you're not singing gospel, but will you patronize me if I had sang gospel? If I come to you now to perform in your wedding, would you accept me to perform? So it starts from us. What do we really want as a nation? And this crime thing, over time, we've had musicians, artists, actors using the profession to hide what is really going underneath. London money, drugs, and everything. So let's know what
I don't want to focus so much on the crime. I want us to focus on the response, because this is under investigation. The case is in court, and he was allegedly accused of these things.
And
so
we
don't know how far the investigation will go. But what we know is the responses people were getting from various celebrities. And I want us to discuss the responses. Is it responsible for people to say, oh, release him regardless? Or is it irresponsible to say, oh, convict him regardless?
You know, Mariah, you said that Daddy Shoki made a point, which is we have politicians who are committing all sorts of crime and nothing is being done. You see, that's a different platform. When someone has been called out for a wrong that he's done, address that. If you're so incensed and so upset that politicians are getting away with crime, come out on a day and speak about that. Nobody stopped Daddy Shoki from talking about politicians that were stealing money. Okay, fantastic. So face that. Don't now make a situation where someone is being allegedly corrected or punished for their wrongdoing to say what he's done is less than what other people have done. See, the politicians, your day will come. That's my own. Your day will come because Nigerians, what you're doing, a lot of the young ones have said, well, what I'm doing is not as bad as politicians. Now, EFCC is coming for them. Okay. So they are going to make sure that they come for you too. Okay. So let's just
All right, let me take Adeboye. Adeboye, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Yes. I think I've always complained this same issue you deliberated on this morning. See, music is one of the things that really corrupt our nation the most. Because the content the artists throw out there is what the younger generation listen to. That's what gets glued into their brains and memory, and they used to react to the society. Yeah. That's the same way they do. If you ask a child of maybe 5 years to tell you or to recite the state and capital for you, they wouldn't do that. But tell them to give it the zanku, they can't. And on Instagram, this same topic, this Naramali thing, I thought I was on Instagram a few days back. A particular website posted the news that EFCC arrested someone. I had to respond to that. I was so very sincere with my response. I said EFCC should please try and do more and help us arrest all these people that are making the real hustlers feel like they are not really trying at all. Because they found the hustlers to they've incapacitated the hustlers, the main hustlers. Now they feel like they are cowards or they are lazy people. A lot of them came for me.
Very good point.
Like, what am I saying? I have to respond back with if you check my Instagram page, MCG Boy, at MCG Boy, you see that. I have to respond
Thank you
back.
very much.
Thank you.
I like what he said, and I'll just quickly write on it. So I have another point I want to make, being that when we have people like Waje saying that the music industry isn't profitable, it's because the fact is it isn't profitable. The money you see is actually coming from other areas. But my main, what I want to stand for here is that the quality of the lyrics of our song has impact on our psychology as a people. Yeah. Because music is the best way to get lessons into our head. Yeah. When you're small, they put the lessons into rhymes so that it sticks to you. When you put songs like Am I Yahoo Boy, I don't know SARS, the latest I know is this one. I didn't know anything about Naramali until this controversy, and I went to his YouTube page and I listened to all his songs, every one of them with a criminal connotation, from drugs to internet crime. So he's been promoting this thing. Can we have every artist that is promoting things like this investigated by EFCC? I'm not saying they should be arrested. Investigate every one of them so that we promote a culture that our country does not stand and we don't support this thing.
I remember when they wanted to arrest, was it Senator Melaye? Where it's not easy getting a politician arrested. The same way was done to Naramali. You see, what angers people is the speed at which it's easy to arrest, convict, and throw a young Nigerian into jail. When the people who are actually, I know we shouldn't, there are two different crimes. Two wrongs don't make a right, just like Foluko Daromola said in her video. But at the same time, why is it not that easy and quick to arrest a politician who allegedly stole billions and millions?
We're not speaking out. We're not speaking out.
We also need to call out EFCC to be seen to be just in the approach in arresting this, because it's on. That's why somebody like Adeyileka will come out and say, you take it easy now.
You don't do the same to other people.
Yes, for the politicians, there's so much cloud around them. They are the ones that are making the laws. So, and there's nobody who will sit down and make a law that will not favor them. So they protect themselves. They have immunities for certain things. They have the money to run away. So
our system favors the VIP.
Exactly.
We have more security people around the VIP. The regular ones are not protected. However, the crime and the effect of the crime affects everybody. So when you commit internet fraud, I want to have a genuine business overseas, and they will say you are from Nigeria, you people are always fraudulent. They will not listen to me because people like allegedly Naramali have committed crime online. So was he guilty? He was found with 2 cards that did not carry his name. So he should defend himself, and it should be fairly done. It shouldn't be witch-hunted, and it shouldn't be made a scapegoat.
So if indeed he's guilty, it has to be done properly, because it's going to send a strong message to the international that, listen, we are arresting this issue of Yahoo Yell, because it affects our own the perception. People, the way
music industry in the US, they arrest all of them. They arrest and jail a lot of artists. Popular artists go to jail and come back. They go, so it's not a problem going to jail. It's just about doing that. You will come back and reform yourself and sing songs that make sense.
I wanted to say something. See, the reason why when we talk about politics and we ask that young people be interested is for things like this, where you feel injustice. So if you come out and you speak up quickly in other issues that do not affect you immediately, you're able to make changes like this, where a Naira Marley would be arrested alongside a politician. So that means your PVCs, that means voting, that means insisting on the person that is representing you, in Senate.
Right.
So you have to be involved one way or the other. Don't just sit back and say none of your business.
Well, Johnson says if EFCC didn't investigate Naira Marley, it would have been a slap to them, and their inaction would have greased the minds of Yahoo boys to keep up with the act. Our image is at stake internationally. I am happy it's being investigated. Omogbolahon says, Ole is Ole. Adape, I don't know what that means, is Yahoo Yahoo. What they involve is in pure stealing. Let the case be thoroughly investigated, and if he's found guilty, he should face the music.
Hey, he says, leave small criminals alone. Focus on politicians doing wrong. Good, you are arresting stinking Yahoo boys, but you need to also devote good resources to prosecuting corrupt politicians. Good on Daddy Shoki's comment. Then Daddy Shoki's comment is shameful. That's from Ehi. Aneke Ese said, from my experience, okay, no, he's talking about the wedding day.
We have to run up. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll bring in a lady who's aging gracefully. We'll actually start the conversation with her on this issue of marriage. Who owns the wedding? Maybe we'll have to hear her views on it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So with us in the studio is a woman who is aging gracefully. She's almost 60. And everyone says she looks younger than her age, just like Waiki, right? Yeah. We're having a chat with her on the routine, how you actually grow older but look younger. Let's join us in welcoming Johanna Adeyileka. Welcome to the show, madam. Good to have you. Before we even get to how you look beautiful and how you're aging and all that, we'll talk about the issue we discussed earlier. Your thoughts on who owns the wedding? Because a lot of young people feel that the wedding belongs to them. Parents feel, no, it's my day. What's your own view?
Oh, almost 5 years ago, our daughter, our only daughter, we have sons after that, she got married, and she wanted a wedding with maybe 100 guests, people she knew well, people she grew up with. But Daddy said no. So we ended up with 580 guests.
Jesus.
This was a wedding.
Nigeria?
It was in London. And majority of the guests, my daughter didn't even know.
Of course.
But she said, well, Dad, if that's what you want, that's what you get.
So why is it important? I mean, and maybe you can speak for your husband.
Yes.
Why is it important for him to have his own friends on that day and not so much as her own friends?
Well, you want to show off this girl that you've had in your hands for 26 years at the time, who has achieved. She's done well. She did well educationally, and she was in a good job. She was doing so good. She was the representative of the family. That, when I say the family, I mean the entire family, because it was the first wedding.
Yeah.
So it had to be as the family.
I have a few tweets on the wedding. Ajani Samuel says, truly, the parents' effort cannot be undermined, yet the couples are actually responsible for every drama on their wedding day. Gats D. George says, not all parents want to be in charge of the wedding day. Not all parents are like that. Everyone shows up that day because of the couple. It's the couple we have come to celebrate. The day is for the couple, but the parents will tap into it.
I don't know about other cultures. In my own culture, people didn't come celebrate with you. It was my mom that came to celebrate with. In fact, I didn't know 89%, in fact, 90% of the people that was there.
So I had to split my, when Tope always talks about honor them and all of that, I did my own honoring in my way. So I had to split my wedding. I did the traditional in Asaba with my father, and the wedding brought to Lagos. So at least you satisfy every other person. And I remember telling my father that I wanted a very small traditional marriage in the compound. And he said, okay, no problem. I didn't know he had gone. I'm his only daughter. He had gone to the village to gather everybody. The compound was full. The meat was finished. I was like, who are these people? Who are these people? Who are these people? So what you just said now about your showing off, and it resonated with me. So I didn't understand at that time why he had to do that, because Daddy, I told you now that we just have budget for. He says it's not me you're talking to. I have to do it my way.
So in that kind of situation where a modern woman, a modern young lady wants to say, it's my day, mommy. It's my husband. It's all about me. I know me, in my own name. My husband was confused. He was a nice young boy from Ikiti. Family, nuclear family, and polygamous, rich young Lagos people. There are plenty. The whole of Lagos showed up. It's him, his mother, his father, siblings, quiet life. In fact, he was confused. He entered my house. Just for introduction, he was confused. What is going on here? This is like a wedding already. In the house, because they haven't even done anything. So my husband kept saying, "People around, I need to go and fast. I need to go and pray. This is just too much." He was under pressure. He didn't understand. He was confused. So shouldn't parents respect that? Listen, my kids don't like this kind of wahala. They just want to be left alone. Shouldn't we use another day to show off?
It also depends on the age of the couple, you know?
Yes.
When you're in your early 20s,
they can use you
they can just do anything. But when the wedding is in mid-30s, early 40s, they'll just say, sit at, you're ready to marry. Anything you want to do, go and do, because they are just happy to see that you're getting married. So,
and I think Nigerians have also found a way to do it. So they'll do the traditional wedding with their parents. Then they'll go and do a destination wedding far away, where only when you can afford the ticket.
I think in my own case as well, my daughter married a Frenchman. So we had all sorts of nationalities.
So the other boys are not yet married?
No.
Now, in a situation whereby they're getting married in Nigeria, and the wives are like, listen, I like to keep it low-key.
Yes.
Would you,
as a mother-in-law,
would you allow a low-key wedding in Nigeria?
Actually, as the mother, I was ready for a quiet wedding, but I was opposed. So, but with our sons, honestly, they
Your husband is Yoruba now.
Yes, he is. From Ondo.
We understand.
The joy of nurturing a child to marriageable status, a marriageable state, is what makes marriage for African parents. I one time told my mom I wanted only 200 guests for my wedding ceremony, and she said that number is your father's guest. So it comes to the topic of big families. Mariah doesn't need to invite anybody, but just the family alone.
See her naming.
Hey, and the baby's naming. Just the family alone, you will see, like, you would see that the entire hall is already full. So sometimes, by virtue of the fact that you're from a big family that relates well with one another, you already have a big ceremony, and you don't want to hurt anybody. So
let's move on to
it's a big deal.
to topics on living healthy, growing up, because
how you doing?
YK is somebody that inspires all of us. She's 50, I think 58. I think
in a few days,
and she's just good at it. She looks amazing, and we just wonder. We know what she does.
Yes.
She's very, very, very. She has fantastic genes. I always say, like, Auntie, you have good genes. Don't come and intimidate us here. But YK is active, and we see you. You look beautiful. You're going to be 60 next month.
You're also active.
You don't even look it. You know, so. A lot of mothers your age find it difficult to stay healthy, look young, because there's a lot of pressure out there. Many of them, their husbands are helping themselves on this side.
They are helping themselves at this
side. It's true now. The husbands are, they're so what are you doing? Let's talk to people in that middle age, age 50s, 55. What can you do to stay young, be relevant in your home?
As far as looks are concerned, my mum will be 86 in October. And when you see her, she probably looks 15 years younger than that. So it's genetic, partially. I think the second thing is being taught by a mum who has also looked after herself for many years. So I take multivitamins. That's one, and I've been taking those since I was about 35.
Wow, consistently?
Yes.
So what kind of multivitamins? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on iron? Are you focusing on calcium for bones? What are the things you take?
Okay, I take something. Can I say?
Don't mention the brand. Just mention what are the components you look out for, because people might not be able to buy that specific brand.
That's correct. This particular brand is from the US. And I started taking that maybe about 6 years ago, this particular one. And they are freeze-dried fruit and vegetables, organic. So even if I don't physically eat vegetables and fruit, I'm taking it in those capsules. And I'm taking 6 capsules a day.
Wow.
2 vegetable, 2 fruit, and 2 berry. So all the red fruits, you know, the healthy, you get them. I also take calcium and magnesium for the bones because, you know, we're prone to, though I think African bones are a little bit stronger than maybe the
Caucasian?
Yes, exactly. So I take that, and I also take some weird concoctions.
Please share.
I'll share. I take agbo from time to time, but I think one of the most popular things I take is scent leaf and bitter leaf mixed together. Now, it's advisable you take it first thing in the morning.
What does it do?
It cleanses and
like a
detoxifies the body.
Natural
These are not sweet now. I have
Scent leaf and bitter leaf.
I'll come to you, Bejudu. My mother-in-law's mother, Momo, I take a picture, I mean, if you follow me online, you see her pictures, and Momo is healthy. Momo is over 90. This woman can walk from here to Bagada. Like, she's active.
Yes.
And she eats in young 11 p.m.
Yeah.
She doesn't do all this scent leaf, and she eats. So Momo can live to 90.
But I think that's an individual thing. You know, you could have 10 women, one does what your grandmother does, but they won't survive it. So it depends. You have to know your own body.
Very interesting. So my mom turned 60 this year, and when I put up a picture,
She doesn't look it.
Everybody kept, your mom knows she can't be your mom. And I know that she's into exercises. She takes fruits, vegetables. She knows how to take care of herself. But at the same time, her mother is in her 90s now. It is something, Mama is very strong. Mama doesn't have all of those. She doesn't take all of those. And Mama is a hustler. Mama will still go to the market. Like, I'm going to the market. So for people who don't have the money to buy all of these vitamins, multivitamins, and all those supplements, how can they take care of themselves and look good and stay young?
Well, I use those things as a backup. There are some essential modes of life that I must follow.
Right.
So if you can't afford vitamins, fruit and vegetables are easy. They're cheap. You know, you don't have to buy, and most of our fruits in Nigeria is organic. So we're one step ahead of maybe the Western world that way, because the vegetables in say England or wherever, they're much more expensive, organic vegetables. So you eat well, you eat healthy. You get to know your own body. That if you can eat at 11 o'clock and go to bed on a heavy stomach, if it works for you, you know, I'm sorry to say there's somebody I know that even if they eat at 12 midnight, they still get up in the morning and go straight to the toilet.
Yeah, me.
Whereas somebody else might eat 12 midnight and not be able to cope with life. You know, they have tummy ache, they are constipated or whatever. So you have to understand your own body. But there are certain foods that we should not be eating at this age.
Okay.
Eating excess sugar is not good. Eating too much white flour is not good. You know, eating processed foods at our age is not good.
Processed food examples, please.
Tinned foods,
Okay.
you know, like this...
Tomato paste and all that.
Yes. And all this, what do you call noodles? What's
Noodles
Yes,
generally.
that are covered, the spaghetti part of it is covered in chemicals. And you see some people eating that every
And
day.
those momos are not eating those things. You
Yeah.
must acknowledge that.
Exactly.
Those momos are not really, they're not feasting on white flour and all
Yes.
those.
Okay, so we have exercises down, we
Yes.
have food down, we have supplements down.
Yes.
But then we have things like makeup and dressing.
Yes,
And everything
yes,
else. So
yes.
what do you do? What exactly is makeup really important for you when you go out? Does that help you think, in how you look?
Yes.
Or can you go out with your bare skin?
Well, like throughout yesterday, I wasn't wearing makeup at all. And there was a day, you know, somebody close to me passed on, and I had an official meeting in my office, so I didn't even realize I wasn't wearing makeup. So when I walked into the office, the first thing I said, look, I know I don't look that good, I don't have makeup. And one of the guys said, Madam CEO, you look best like this. Don't wear makeup anymore. So I'm not ashamed of going out without makeup. I think there is even a picture of me somewhere without makeup.
So if you were to advise someone your age, would you advise, oh, start using makeup? You know, that's what I mean. Because some people might say, with age, maybe you shouldn't use so much makeup on your skin. Or you think, okay, when you get to a certain age, you should wear makeup more.
I think the most important aspect of a woman at this age is to be comfortable with herself. You know, if you feel confident and you feel great within yourself, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so it will shine outwardly.
That's really what I want to talk about, because I know that there is a psychology, because some people would look good. They would be 65 and they are fabulous, but they don't feel good. They are so age conscious. They are so remembering that I'm old. I'm getting old. I'm already, you know I'm getting old. You know I'm getting old. So what's, and I don't sense that around you. I don't think that you don't even work with the awareness of, I'm about to be 60. You're not carrying that.
No, I don't.
How do you maintain that idea of it's just age? It doesn't affect who I am on the inside.
Those who know me, they call me Sissy Grandma. Because I've said, look, whatever will stop me from wearing my 4-inch heels, wearing my makeup when I want to, or I'm not a conforming person. I don't follow the trend. I am me. So I decide to do what I want within boundaries, of course. But I just believe that if you are confident and you have some self-assertiveness, it does help. Now, in Nigeria, we have a culture where it's not normal to be young and be old at the same time. As you are getting older, you should change your dressing, change your hairstyles. You don't do certain things, which does not apply to me.
Okay. Let me take this call from Barakas. Morning, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
My contribution is on the other topic.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it Fashola also? Those people that are spoken for him, that to be released, they have never been a victim of Yahoo guys. If they have been, they will never try that. I knew somebody who was duped of over 20 million. And since then, his life has never been the same as it was before the incident. So those people have never been a victim. That is why they are speaking like that. And on this issue of aging gracefully, money has to do with that. Poverty at times make people look older than their age.
My sister,
but if you have money to maintain that, yes, that will be fine. Thank you.
You know, do you want to agree with her that if you have to be rich to look good?
You don't, honestly. I mean, it's an advantage. Let's not rule that out. But what I'm trying to say is, even regarding clothes, is it pick and drop now? There are designer clothes in those pick and drop that people can buy.
Pick and drop, that's...
Is it
bend and select?
You bend and select. And as far as looking after yourself, equal cost of buying agege bread and a bottle of Coke, you can buy fruits and vegetables. You can eat amala with you don't have to eat the protein with it.
Knowledge.
But you know, it's just understanding what is the alternative to that.
Yeah, so we have like examples of women on TV who are looking good in their old age.
Yes.
And
are you referring to me as old age?
Because you're not 1 year old. But those in what? How do you call it? Senior citizens?
Well, we
I'm sorry. Okay, but there's a place for cosmetic surgery now, and Nigerians are also embracing it.
Cheek augmentation.
So I just want to know: is this something that you look at? Is this something that you do? Is this something you advise?
Funnily enough, I was in the midst of about 20 women who work in an organization that does plastic surgery and all body enhancement and so on. And 1 or 2 of them were even in their 20s and they'd done the bum job. And it frightens me because I just wonder, how does a woman look with a false bum when she gets to 70 or 80? You know, how does she look with her breasts being overly enlarged at that age?
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not necessary. You see, if you embrace who you are, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. If you humbly respect that this is me and enhance yourself in the best way possible, which doesn't have to be expensive, that is the best.
I want to come to the issue of marriage and raising kids, because these are issues that weigh people down when they get to their 50s and 60s, where you look back, you're full of regrets on how the kind of choice of man you married, how you raised your kids. Maybe they're spoiled, they don't care about you. And a lot of people go into depression. This is the time where a lot of women, a lot of men feel that the whole world is upon them because of poor choices. Could you share with us some of the good choices you made, so that as women are growing, they can understand the importance of this? Because you look happy, you look like things are fine. There's got to be some things done. Aside from just the eating healthy, doing the exercise, dressing, there's something making you happy behind. Could you tell us what that is?
I'm a happy person anyway. One of the things I do, for those who know me, I relate so much with women in their 30s and early 40s. My closest friend is 36.
Oh.
Oh, yes. She's 36, she's a lawyer. And we, you know, she encourages me in business because she's an entrepreneur. And I encourage her in marital situations, life's experiences, and so on. So we click very well. So the choice of friends you have is very important. The second thing is that I think a lot of women have failed in marriage and in friendships because they base too much on culture. You have to remove, I'm not saying you should completely remove yourself from culture. You should pick and choose the ones that are going to work for you. And also, your inner self. Take up hobbies of something you like. If you like walking, go and walk. Breathe in the fresh air. If you like going to parties, go to parties. Whatever you need to do.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm just being told by the Special Aide to Honorable Abike Dabiriwa Abdul Rahman Balogun saying that the headline we read earlier, stating that the Egypt-Ethiopian airline running drug cartels in Nigeria is a figment of the reporter's imagination, that what she actually said during that meeting was that there was a need for those two airlines to ensure compulsory baggage identification, as all cases recording on the issue of drugs had been from those airlines. That's what she said. But then it was interpreted like she's indicted, saying that those two airlines are involved in the drug cartel. So I just had to make that clarity. Going back to our guest. Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to find out the connection between mental health and physical health for aging people, because I know that back in the days we didn't used to age this fast. If you follow through checking your genealogy, your grandparents, but now you see, especially in a city like Lagos, you see a man who's not even 40. He's already looking very old with beds and you know the stress. And then we hear a lot of things concerning depression and what people are going through. Is there a connection? How do you stay in a space where you are healthy mentally?
Well, there's a major connection between stress and aging. I think too many people are suffering, especially in this part of the world. It's a necessity. I mean, on one of my social media handles, I spoke about depression and how simple it is to become depressed in this our society. You see people getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, no light, no water, nothing. They get into traffic, get into work. They're thinking about their boss at work. They're thinking about, you know, reaching targets, school fees, wife problem, girlfriend problem, you know, boss problem. Then you get to work and stress again. Then you have to face traffic back home. Sometimes people are not eating well, you know, they're not sleeping well, because we all need sleep for our bodies to function well. So some people will have 4 hours sleep, but only 1 hour's deep sleep.
Exactly. So we need to work on that.
One last question, the good fun part.
The fun
yes.
one.
So we hear all the time that it's important to, you know, the other room activities.
Yes.
And I was wondering, approaching 60,
Yes.
do we still do the other room activities?
The other
Do we still
room
find exciting?
is so important.
Okay.
Oh, you still do the do?
I'm not sorry. Don't make me blush,
I know
please.
that. 60. Girl, you should be taking a break.
No, not at all. Do you know that when a woman gets to this age, oftentimes, you've done the children, you've done everything that's a pressure. Now your children have gone. My God, you should be doing, you know, I should be cooking my plantain and hubby comes up behind and says,
So you have the house to yourself?
yeah.
Do you have any house girls?
Yes.
And tell her, do you have house girls? So only the house is just for these guys?
Just for us.
So do you have like sexy lingerie and stuff like that that you wear? Yes.
So you would advocate for women in their 50s, going into 60s, to still engage themselves
Deeply.
Deeply. But okay, can I compare now and then? Were you as deeply involved in that activity then? And now. And then let's compare.
When we first got married,
that shaku
shaku type of thing. But when the children come, you're tired,
everything goes down.
you're this, you're that. So it's maybe
So
a
it's
weekend.
normal. Hallelujah. Thank
Yeah,
God.
it's a normal thing.
Right, so-
And you know, I must say as well, you know, the body features change. So what used to say hallelujah is saying amen. You're really concerned about all those things, you know. But no, sex is very important. And let's understand that there's impotence and all that with men and erectile dysfunction, that, you know, men are not performing as well.
Optimum.
Yes, diabetes, hypertension, all those things contribute
So
to
seek
men
medical
not-
help.
Seek medical help. And, you know,
Final words.
they're not actually, that's not the reason why people should even decrease their sex life. Go for sex toys. Go for sex therapy. Wow. Go do whatever you need to do.
Please, we don't want to, please don't get me in trouble, I beg. But your final word for because there are lots of women that are in their 50s, mid-50s, 60s, and they're just like, Mama,
Giving up.
They're just giving
No,
up.
please,
So just
please,
give a word to them today.
Please, I plead with you. Don't give up. Enjoy life. Enjoy life within yourself. Honestly, I'm sorry to say this. If husband is not ready to enjoy, you enjoy. You've worked hard. You've brought up your children.
That's all we can take on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, we wish Naira Marley the best. Hopefully we'll see what happens. I mean, unfortunately, this is happening to him, but we just pray that justice takes its course.
And we learn
Have a
from
fabulous
that.
day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.